Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing my third trimester recap, which is so crazy to even be saying. I'm currently 36 weeks, but I will be 37 weeks by the time this video goes up. So baby girl can come literally any moment. So I want to recap what's been going on for the last few months, some exciting changes, lots of body changes, baby changes, and just some exciting big moments that have happened over the last few months and weeks. I do also have recaps of my first trimester and my second trimester that I will have linked for you down below if you guys want to check those out. But it's crazy how every trimester is really so different, like what you experience, how the baby feels, just lots of physical and even like emotional differences between the trimesters. So if you guys are interested in those videos, I will have them linked down below. Let's start with body changes and belly changes, because I feel like that is the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things that happens in the third trimester. Is just the massive amount of growth that you suddenly feel. It is the time where the baby grows the most in size in the shortest amount of time, and you really feel it. And right now at this point, it definitely feels like there's another body within my body. Like when I bend over, I can feel her like legs and almost like her, I don't feel her bones, but I feel her structure a lot. So I can't just like bend over quickly and pick something up. Like there's something very large in the way. Whereas before, in the second trimester, even though you have a bump, moving around, picking things up, like bending over, there's still something, but it's not at all as impactful, I would say, as it's been in the third trimester. Even if I run my hand over my belly, I can feel where her feet are, I can feel where her body is. Like it's harder obviously in those parts. And from the scans, it looks like she's about 2.2 kilos or 2.3 kilos at this point, but there's always a buffer in that, so it's not like 100% accurate. It's not that that's how much she's gonna weigh at birth. And personally, I've gained about 14 kilos, but it might be a little bit more at this point because that was from my last checkup about 2 weeks ago, so I might be like 15 kilos more now, which is definitely a significant amount of extra weight to be carrying around if you just think about like day-to-day life. I sometimes think about it like if you were to be carrying like a backpack or so that was 14 or 15 kilos, like that's heavy. The body is just truly amazing. But with the growth and with the weight gain, I'm still feeling really good in my body, like generally speaking. I feel like right now I'm definitely moving a lot slower. I'm walking a little bit slower. I'm just being more mindful of how I'm moving my body, if I have to like, pick something up. Also, surprisingly, I haven't been very swollen. I think that's because I've been very consistent with my supplements and taking my magnesium and also drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated with electrolytes. I think that that really helps as well with water retention and just like having a good flow within your body. And also I've been pretty active still. Like I go for my walks, I do my stretching, and I think that that really helps with swelling and with like body aches and just feeling, really comfortable in your body. Switching gears a little bit, just talking about like some general body changes that I've experienced. So when it comes to like my energy levels, my tiredness, thankfully my energy levels have been pretty good, pretty stable throughout the daytime. But as soon as like evening time rolls around, like 8, 9 o'clock, I am so ready for bed. Like I love an early bedtime and just starting my evening routine really early so that I have a nice amount of time to unwind and relax and just prepare for sleep. And also on this topic, I just have such a new appreciation for my body and what it's been doing, how it's changing, and what I'm still able to do even though there is this insane miracle that is going on within my body. It literally just brings tears to my eyes when I think about how incredible it is what is happening right now in my body. Still, the fact that I'm able to work and do my things that I need to during the day and cook and clean up. And I just think about all the moms that already have kids, that have toddlers and are pregnant. Women are just so incredible. Like you can grow a baby, still be a boss, still be working, taking care of your family, and and just doing all the things. I just think women are absolutely incredible, and I have such a newfound compassion and appreciation for my body and everything that it's doing. And definitely as well when I see other pregnant women or women with kids and babies, I feel such a connection to them, and I just feel like we understand what's going on in each other's bodies, and I'm like, I can see so many more pregnant women now. It's crazy. Next, let's talk about food and cravings and nutrition. This is something that really surprised me in the 3rd trimester. Like the saying eating for 2, it does make a lot of sense because obviously you need to provide nutrition for your body and for your growing baby, but there's not a lot of space in your stomach. Literally the other day I heard my stomach making a sound over here, like up. It was almost like underneath my boob, and I was like, what is that? That's my stomach. It's just insane how your organs shift internally and squeeze and become really, really small during pregnancy, because obviously like there's a nice big baby in there and lots of amniotic fluid, and that all takes up a lot of space, which definitely leaves less room for your actual stomach to hold and to digest food. Me right now at this stage, I'm really happy with lots of like frequent small meals throughout the day. That's something that I feel like really helps with my digestion. And as far as cravings and like certain types of foods that I've really been enjoying, a lot of people have been asking me like, is there something that you crave specifically? And not really. Like most of the things that I really crave are simple things. Sometimes I go through days where I just want like simple toast with simple avocado, not too many spices or flavors, just like really simple things. So that's something that I've noticed. I'll have my smoothies every morning. That's something that I definitely crave and I'm still very excited to eat. Definitely also indulging if there's anything that I am craving. Like the other day I was really craving waffles, so I made myself some waffles and I had some chocolate spread on top. Sometimes I really crave like cinnamon rolls, like cinnamon buns, but that's not something that I would say is specific to pregnancy, because I would often crave those things outside of being pregnant as well, so I don't consider that like a specific pregnancy related thing. But my point being that I definitely have a good balance. I definitely enjoy eating healthy most of the time. It's just what makes me feel my best, and I also am very conscious about wanting to give my baby like the best and most optimal nutrition. I'm very, conscious about that, but also I love to indulge from time to time, and I really enjoy having that balance whether I'm pregnant or not. Also, with that said, I've been very consistent with taking my supplements. So my prenatal, my DHA, my magnesium is a super important one, which I touched on earlier for muscle cramps and just for like relaxation of the body. I also take zinc a couple of times per week and extra iron, and a really important one, especially during pregnancy, is a good probiotic as well to help with digestion and just generally to support your gut health, which is so closely linked to so many other functions in the body, including your vaginal health and the birth canal and even the gut health of the baby. It's all very closely linked, and it's super important to take care of that during pregnancy. And how I like to support my gut health is by making sure that I stay hydrated, by drinking lots of water, making sure that I'm moving my body as well so that I'm physically getting things moving. That really helps. Also, being out in nature just in general is really good for your gut health. And then eating a diverse variety of different foods, different fruits, vegetables, protein sources, fats, all of that is really great for helping to introduce new bacteria into your gut. The more diversity that we have in our foods, the more diverse the bacteria in our gut. And that is a huge marker for good gut health, is the variety and different strains of bacteria that live in your gut, because they all do something different. Another way I like to support my gut health is by taking a really high quality probiotic. And I say high quality because not all probiotics are created the same. In fact, a lot of the probiotics that are on the market, and even things like yogurts and kefir, like foods that have natural probiotics in them, a lot of them can actually just get burned up by our stomach acids and bile salts and enzymes. So they have that good bacteria content going into the body, but they don't actually make it all the way down to your colon where they need to be. But the probiotics that I take are from seeds need, and they actually have this really great 2-in-1 ViaCap technology, which is this outer layer that protects the bacteria on the inside. So that guarantees that the bacteria is actually going to make it all the way down to your colon. I think that's why this probiotic brand has such an insane and loyal following, is because it truly works. It's super potent and effective, and you see results beyond just the health of your gut. You can see improvements in your skin health, in how you sleep, even in your mood and in your emotional health. So much of that stems from the health and quality of your gut. And I think it's such a simple thing to incorporate into your daily routine. I take 2 of these in the morning on an empty stomach. It's such a simple little step that I know has so many good benefits for both me and also for the baby. If you guys have not tried this out yet, Steed are offering all my viewers 15% off by using the link down below and the code AnnieJ15. Again, that will get you 15% off your first order, and I think you guys are really going to love them. So I will make sure to have the link down below for you in the description box. If you're looking for a really good probiotic, I would highly recommend it. Okay, next let's talk about exercise and self-care. Those two for me really go hand in hand, especially when it comes to stretching and just gently moving my body, making a lot of room for the baby so that she's comfortable, I'm comfortable. I've been pretty consistent with regularly moving my body throughout my pregnancy, and I'm really happy that I've made it to this point. Like I said, I'm now 36 weeks and I'm still regularly going for my walks, even though I'm going a little bit slower these days. But I was still doing my strength training up until like probably week 34 or 33, something around then, but basically up until I felt comfortable. And right now I would say, like, because she's so big and she's moving a lot, if I want to have a bit more of a challenge, I prefer doing things like Pilates and just a bit more like gentle movements. But I do have a whole video dedicated to staying fit and healthy during pregnancy that I will have linked down below. I posted that a couple of weeks ago, and I go much more into detail of specific workouts that I really liked and some of my tips and like mindset and motivation and things like that. So I will have that linked for you down below. But I've heard just generally staying active and stretching throughout your pregnancy can really help with labor and birth, and of course also with the postpartum phase. That's something that's been very motivating for me throughout my pregnancy, is just reminding myself that labor in itself is such a workout. It's like running a marathon, and I've been actively preparing myself for that. You need a lot of strength and stamina and core strength as well to have a bit more of a comfortable and easy labor and birth. So that's definitely been something that has been very motivating for me. Of course, with that as well, you're helping to strengthen your pelvic floor and your deep transverse abdominals. And also with your pelvic floor, when you keep that strong and toned throughout pregnancy, it really helps with things like bladder control. Of course, you have to pee a lot during pregnancy, but when you have a stronger pelvic floor, it helps you to control that better, so you're able to sleep better throughout the night. So I will still wake up and go to the bathroom like once, sometimes twice per night. Thankfully, it hasn't been like having to pee, 4 or 5 times, because that would be exhausting. And I do also talk a lot about that in the video that I mentioned. I show some specific exercises that are proven to really help with strengthening your pelvic floor, and again also with like your core muscles in general, your deep transverse abdominals, that also really help to physically push the baby out during birth. Also, on the topic of self-care, one of my favorite things to do are prenatal massages. They just feel so good, and I feel like it's just such a nice treat whenever I do one. I'm trying to go now like once per week up until the birth, to really make sure that my body and nervous system and muscles are relaxed and ready and just feel really like soft and flexible and just comfortable and relaxed. So that's something that I'm really enjoying and trying to do as much as I can. Next, let's talk about labor and birth prep. This is also something that I feel like has a little bit to do with exercise and self-care. So stretching is something that is so great to do for opening up your hips, your pelvic area, making a lot of room for the baby. And this is something that I've been focusing a lot on the last few weeks. I also talk about a few of the stretches that I'm really enjoying in the video that I mentioned, which I'll have linked down below. Doing things like deep set squats and lunge stretching, so having, you know, one leg in front of the other and like going into a really deep lunge and feeling that beautiful stretch in your hips. Again, squatting to really open up your hips and to create that good mobility, and also just to get your body used to being in that kind of position for potentially giving birth. And with that as well, just being mindful of how I'm sitting throughout the day and like my posture, so making sure that I'm not like always leaning back or slouching, making sure that I have like a good upright posture. This is all for the baby to find a really good way and position in your uterus for birth. So trying to be a little bit more forward leaning, or at least upright, but like trying not to slouch back too much. Also being mindful of not crossing my legs, and just like when I'm sitting, I try to sit on a birth ball, for example, in place of a chair. So if I'm doing a lot of editing or computer work, I always grab my birth ball and I will sit on that. I've also started drinking red raspberry leaf tea. I started that at around 34 weeks or 35 weeks, something like that. I started with 1 cup a day. I'm now doing 2 cups per day, and I might increase it to 3 cups per day, but that's something that people say really helps with ripening and softening the cervix, which is going to help a lot apparently with birth and labor. Another thing I'm doing are evening primrose capsule oils, like oil capsules that you poke a little hole in and you put it up your vagina. That's also something that can really help to ripen the cervix. Make sure that you have a liner in your underwear when you go to bed, so that any, you know, excess oil can come out and just like nicely moisturize your lady bits. I do actually have a vlog coming probably next week where I'm talking a little bit about this as well, and like showing some of these things in action, so stay tuned for that if you want more like labor and birth prep tips. I do also have my birth preferences or birth plan ready. It is printed and in my hospital bag. I do also want to do a hospital bag video, by the way, like what I'm bringing for myself and the baby. But yeah, my birth preferences sheet is done. I like the idea of saying preferences rather than plan, because I think, you know, birth can be so unpredictable, and I have no idea how my body is going to be reacting or like what's going to be happening, because obviously it's my first birth. But I do have some preferences. Like, I would love to do it as naturally as possible. I would love to have as little intervention as needed. But again, with that said, labor and birth can be so unpredictable. The main focus is that she comes out healthy and that I'm healthy, and whatever that means at the end of the day, that's what I'm open to. But if you guys would like to see my birth preferences, I'll see how I can do it. Maybe I can share it in a Google Documents folder, or maybe I'll write it out in the description box down below. But I do know a few of you have requested to see it as inspiration for your own birth preferences or birth plan. So check down below in the description box on how to receive that. Next, let's talk about baby updates. So she is very big now. Like I mentioned, I can really feel her a lot. In the second trimester, you feel more like little cute kicks, but in the third trimester, it's like full on body. Like, you feel her back, her butt, her legs and feet and head, her little hands. Like, you can really feel so much, and it's not just like a little kick. Like, you feel body parts, multiple body parts moving at the same time and kind of like slamming up against your stomach. One time it felt like she was even practicing running, like moving both her legs very quickly, and I was like, are you okay? Also, something that's really funny that she does is like move her butt from side to side, and you can literally see her little butt and back like shifting, and my belly just making all these like crazy shapes, and it's insane. It's beautiful. Sometimes it catches me a little bit off guard. And she has also been in a head down position for the last few months, which is amazing for birth. So she's head down, and sometimes I feel a lot of pressure on my cervix already. Like, she's very low, I feel. And yeah, in the second trimester, I mostly felt her in the evenings when I would be laying down at night. We would have our little like bonding moments at night when I would feel her and I would talk to her and she would like kick and stuff like that. But now I feel movement all of the time, like during the day, when I'm showering, if I'm walking. And before, maybe she was still moving, but I just maybe didn't feel it as much. But now, because obviously she's so big, like you feel it a lot, and it's such a beautiful thing. I love having her so close to me and just feeling her so close to me, and I know that that's something that's so unique and precious to this time. That is definitely one of my favorite things about being pregnant, is just feeling us so close together and having her so close to me. So at 37 weeks, they say that the baby is as big as a canary melon. That's pretty big, and next week the baby is predicted to be as big as a mini watermelon. And also at this point, they are pretty much fully developed in terms of all of their internal organs and features and all of that. They just need to grow in size and gain weight before birth. Yeah, other exciting moments. The nursery is almost ready. I am planning on doing a full nursery tour, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna try to do it before she comes, but it might be that I will film it afterwards. We'll see. I'm so happy that I've done most of the work, so that now I can just focus on myself, on relaxing, on taking care of my body, preparing my body for labor and birth, and just preparing mentally as well for this big, you know, life change that's about to happen. Obviously still doing like little baby prep things, like washing all of the clothes, inserts for like the swings and the stroller and car seat, and like washing bed sheets and things like that. Also making sure things are sterilized, like her pacifiers, bottles, breast pumps, little things like that, which I'm actually filming also as part of a vlog, so stay tuned for that. But all of like the big things are done, which feels really nice. Let's do a belly shot to document this moment. So here we are at 36 weeks. Belly is very big. You can see the skin is very stretched, my belly button. It will probably get a little bit bigger before birth as well, but I will still be vlogging and filming, so stay tuned for those if you want to see the progression. So those are the updates from my third trimester of pregnancy. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. My next video will actually be my top 10 pregnancy essentials that I've used and loved the most throughout my pregnancy. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be up on Sunday, I believe. But thanks so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more baby and birth prep videos and vlogs coming up in the next few weeks. I would love to film some of the actual labor and birth of our baby, but I'm really not sure how it's going to go on the day, but I will try to capture like as much as I can. I think it's just going to be fun to have those memories and to capture like such a special time, and also be able to share it with you guys, because before I got pregnant, I always found the topic of pregnancy and like babies and birth like such a miraculous and exciting thing. So now that it's like finally happening for me, I want to document as much as I can and just share it, because I think it's so special. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye guys.